Hi everyone, welcome back. Nice to see you all again. Today I'm going to review Bionano Genomics. So this particular stock I did review in last 2-3 days ago, and I posted in my YouTube video. You can look at this video on top of here. Now this after I post this video, I received some comments on YouTube as well as on Reddit group, and basically I realized one thing, that there is a huge mistake in the analysis that I made. And this particular mistake, I think many of you might be doing and might not be even aware of such mistake. So if you want to know what is that mistake, do stay tuned and watch this video until the end. I'm going to explain the mistake I did so that you guys don't do, and also a lesson for myself. And secondly, I'm going to do a review again on this particular Bionano, and you will see that conclusion is very much different from what I did in the previous video 2 or 3 days ago. I said it is like bearish, but it's actually not a bearish counter. And stay tuned. This is Shah&Co. Please like, share and subscribe the channel. I will post you with a lot of new updates. So now let's begin our analysis. So I want to highlight to you straightly what is the mistake that I did, so that you guys are very well aware, and when you do your technical analysis and all that, do not do this mistake, because this mistake is very severe, because it will actually create a lot of wrong analysis, okay, because you don't observe the market carefully. Okay, so what is the mistake that I did that I want you guys not to do it, okay? And also for myself, I don't want to repeat this again. It's very simple. The mistake is very simple, but the conclusion is very severe. That's the thing. Okay, see, it's all about setting in the this particular trading view particular application. So if you look at this current chart, this is Bionano Genomics. And then if you look at this chart is also Bionano Genomics. So what is the difference between that chart and this chart? A lot of difference. You see that? It's about log setting. So if you look at your bottom right hand corner, there's a label called log. So if you enable the log, you see this chart. But if you disable it, it becomes a linear chart. So it becomes like this. So, and when you analyze, when you use log chart, this particular chart that I'm showing on the screen, the conclusion that you're going to get is very much different from the conclusion that you get if it's a linear chart like this. Okay, so what is the real difference between the linear chart and also the log chart? So it's all about the unit of measurement. In the linear chart, the difference is based on units. Okay, so I'll explain in more detail why. But in the log chart, the difference is in terms of percentage. Okay, one is in the unit, another one is percentage. I'll give you a simple analogy. Let's say if we have a price move from $10 to $20. That $10 to $20 in terms of percentage is 100% increase. In the same manner, if the price increase from the $20 to $40, the quantum of increase is still the same in terms of percentage. $20 to $40 is 100% increase. $10 to $20 is also 100% increase. But if that is actually in terms of logarithm form, which measures in terms of percentage. But if it is in terms of linear chart, an increase from $10 to $20 is an increase of 10 units, right? And then from $20 to $40, it's an increase of 20 units. You see that the difference in the units. The first one from $10 to $20 is the difference is 10 units. From 20 to 40 is $20, 20 units different. But if you do the same thing in logarithm form, the difference is the same. It's not 10-20 as we saw, but it is going to be 100%, 100%. $10 to $20 is an increase of 100%. $20 to $40 is an increase of 100%. So now in the logarithm form, you get a similar increase, 100%, 100%. But in a linear form, you get an increase of 10 units to 20 units. So there is amplification to say if you use what you call linear chart, and especially this difference will not be very great if there is no huge jump in prices. But if you look at the chart of Bionano, so let me show you the original linear chart. You see that the price has a quantum leap, right? It's a very huge leap from a price of like 60 cents all the way to almost $16, right? It's a huge leap, right? So and because of this huge leap, when you try to measure things in terms of units, like in the linear chart, you get a lot of things amplified. You see the downfall here, like what I'm pointing the mouse cursor to, the downfall is really kind of amplified. You know why? If I take my Fibonacci, right? If I take my Fibonacci tool from the low to the up here, and make sure let me check my setting of the Fibonacci. Okay, so if you look at this particular Fibonacci setting, right, the price fell down almost like 70%. It is beyond 50%. It fell down more than like, it's about 70% fell down, right? But if the same thing you repeat, okay, so from the low to high and to the lower back, it fell almost like 70% in the linear chart. But if you put in a logarithm form, you see a lot difference from the low here to the up, and then the fall here did not even touch 38%. Okay, just now we had like almost 70% fell, right? Price fall down, right? But this one is only like 38%. This is a huge difference. That's why when you want to have a bit, if you want to have a smooth analysis and all that, I recommend you to use log chart, especially when you are dealing with price that actually has a huge jump. Okay, you see a lot of difference in that. Okay, so because in the previous video I did not switch it to the log chart, my analysis really screwed up. Okay, so that's why I in fact received a lot of bad comments. So I tried to relook into my analysis, and then discussion through Reddit, I come to know that I made a major mistake. Okay, so that's why in this video I'm trying to correct my mistake and also try to give you a clearer picture using a log chart. What is the projection for this particular counter? And it's actually really a good news. Do follow me, and I will explain what is that good news. Okay, so if you have gained some new information, how many of you, truthfully, how many of you did this mistake or don't even realize this thing? Comment to me if you have done this mistake or this is something new that you learned from me. Give your comment. We can share each other. I may make mistake and you guys can correct me, so I'm always free on that. And do click the subscribe button. I'll actually guide you, and even if I make mistake, I'll try to correct myself and teach you what is the correct thing. Okay, so do click the subscribe button, and I'll give you a lot of good. There's nothing, for your information, there's nothing wrong in the technique of analysis. It's all about the chart. Because I forgot to switch it to the log chart, everything screwed up. It's nothing wrong with the technique, it's the chart which screwed it up. Okay, so take a lesson from this, and we will not repeat the same mistake in the future. And we're gonna go straight down to the analysis part with the log chart. Click the subscribe. We're going to begin. Okay, so now I want to analyze this particular stock using the log chart. Okay, so I'm switching back to log chart. This is the log chart. I'm going to clear my screen so that we can start fresh. So let us try to look at this particular price. You see, in this particular price, it's actually doing wonderful, really wonderful. You know why? Because you see here, at this price, it's actually low here. Okay, we have a low here. Then the low is getting higher, and you see the low is even getting higher. Wonderful, isn't it? And then you see the high here. The high is also getting higher. Wonderful, isn't it? This is a really uptrend. But you don't see that in the linear chart. You don't see that in the linear chart clearly. No, you don't see. It's like flat. You might even miss the whole picture. No. Now after I plot it in the log chart, now when I turn it back to linear chart, I somewhat see it's really in an upchart, what you call uptrend. But if I'm just analyzing using the linear chart, I will really miss it, is it? Now I'm going to switch back to the log chart. Okay, done. Enough with the mistakes. Now we're going to do it correctly. Okay, so one thing we have confirmed, it is in uptrend. Okay, it looks like an uptrend. Now, because this uptrend, I can do a lot more analysis. I want to know what is the strength of this uptrend. Does this particular uptrend has got strength? Okay. Now, how do we measure if this particular uptrend has got strength? It's very simple. Let me clear the screen again. Okay. Now I'm going to take the what you call the trend line. I'm going to connect from the low to the high here, just to be clear, and then from the high here I'll connect to the low. Okay, where is the low? Actually the low is here. Okay, and the low is somewhere here. Okay, and then I think this is the low. Yeah, and then from here we're going to be moving up here. Okay, and then we are moving down here. So it's very important for us to draw these, at least these lines, because it will guide us. It is in uptrend. Now next thing is, you can just visually see, you don't need to take ruler and measure, you can just visually see now the length of the first up move compared to the second up move. It is longer. Second up move is longer. So according to the arts theory, this particular stock Bionano Genomics is in a good strength. It is having strength. So when your length of the up move is growing, okay, so we need two loops. So this is the first loop we have, and this is the second one, right? So we can compare these two loops, and we saw that the first one is shorter in terms of the jump, but the second one is higher in terms of jump. So it's actually having strength. Number one conclusion, it is having strength. Now having strength is a good thing, but even better than strength is the power. Because sometimes you see a weightlifter, it's like in Olympic, a lot of countries participate, all the body, what you call the weightlifters they all of good strength and all that. They come for Olympic competition, but who can lift that 200 kilograms or 300 kilograms, whatever world record it is? Is the one who has the most power, right? So we want to see the power. Now we know you all have got strength, but I want to see the power in you. So how do we measure power in the chart? This is where the Fibonacci will help us. Okay, so I'm going to take the Fibonacci tool. One thing, okay, let me draw it first. From the low to the high, I'll try to check on the retracement. So one thing you have to do is you click on the setting, make sure that you have done this Fibonacci level based on log scale. Click on this. This is another setting, you do not forget it. Okay, says on that. Okay, so now we are doing Fibonacci analysis based on the log scale. Okay, now you see in the first one, the first move, and then the retracement. Look at the retracement. It retraces to 62%, right? So it retraces, the price move up, then it went down to 62%. Then let us compare with the second cycle. Okay, from the low here all the way to up. Wow, wonderful, man, wonderful. You see, it only retraces up to 38%. So that means what? What is the story here? The story here is, initially there were a lot more sellers pulling it down to almost 62%. So the sellers, so buyers buy. Then the sellers come in, they pull down up to 62%. So huge, right? But then the buyers come in again, a lot of them come in. Price jump a lot. A big leap, I would say. Then the seller, they came in, but they are not strong. They only managed to pull down by 38%, nearing to 30, even not touching that 38%. It's nearing to that. Okay, so that means the sellers are kind of lacking in the strength, lacking in the power, in other words. So the sellers here are not that having high sentiment, or they're not so willing, in other words, they're not so willing to sell. That's why they managed to sell by only bringing it down little compared to the previous. So conclusion is, this particular chart, Bionano Genomics, have got the power. It has got the power. not only has got the strength, it also has got the power. This chart may get an Olympic gold medal. Possible, because it has got the power and also the strength. Okay, so it's wonderful. It's wonderful, I tell you. Okay, now what about the current retracement? Let us study this particular current retracement. Okay. Okay, so let me clear a bit. Okay, so now enlarge a bit. Okay, okay. Now we will study about this particular retracement. Yeah, it went down, and then some of you may like having doubt. Okay, price went down, but how come this particular price move up was not strong enough that it go above the previous height? Some that may actually kind of dampen some of you. Example, here is the high, right? The high, previous high. Why didn't this particular, let me highlight it, why didn't this particular high move beyond that green line? Why it did not? Does it really signify it is the buyers are losing their energy? This is what we want to look now. Do the buyers have got energy still? We know the sellers losing energy. What about the buyers? Okay, now we will try to also use Fibonacci. Okay, now take this from the high to the low here. See this. Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, zoom in. Okay, see, the sellers selling down, then the buyers come in, and they came at the Fibonacci level, not 38%. So I still remember when we did analysis just now. Okay, so if you look at the uptrend move, right, just now, I think this is a low, right, high, and then this is the first low. So there are multiple lows here. This is the first low, second and third low. We'll take the first one. So from the first low to the high, right, and then you see the price retracement. It did not even manage to touch that 38%. We said this earlier, right? So that means the seller, this is the, usually the retracement will happen up to the Fibonacci levels. So in this case, it only managed to retrace up to 38%, which is actually a good thing. Things will become bad only if the sellers push down all the way beyond 50%. So you see, in the Fibonacci level, it only traces up to 38%, right? If we had a situation where the seller pushed down all the way to below 50%, then we say, no, it's not really as good as we thought. Then we say it might be not good. But this is not the case now. This is wonderful. Our case is wonderful. It's only managed to retrace up to 38%, not even going beyond 50. So the buyers are still good. Sellers are weak. Okay, the sellers are weak. So now compare that. Let's do that comparison with here, from here to here, down here. You see, seller pull it down, and then the buyers push it up. Did the buyer have power? Even though the buyers did not pull beyond the previous high, which is at level $16.17, but the buyers did a wonderful job. Because you know why? Because the buyers managed to push it up beyond 50%. You see there? Observe this area. It's beyond 50%. Okay? It's beyond 50%. That's a wonderful job for the buyers. Okay? So now, so that means what we are saying here, the buyers still got strength. They are still have strength. Sellers losing the strength. Okay? Or rather the power. Okay? Now, you see, right now you see there is kind of, if you try to draw, so if you try to draw, why is it not clicking? Okay, now it's clicking. Okay, so now if you try to draw lines, right, trend line for this mini retracement that we have there, is actually forming what is known as flag, candlestick flag, and that is actually a super good sign, because you see you have the pole here. So this is the up move. This is the up. Why is it not clicking? Okay, now this is the up move, right? Then it's forming a flag here, and now it's touching the low here. It's actually a good buying opportunity. If you guys have not get into this share, I think it is very good for us to enter. But again, investment is your own risk. But technically, I'm looking at it, it's a good opportunity to enter now. Okay, at this price, because it touched that particular low. Because you know why? Later on, if once the price make an up move, and if it manage to break away from that high, from the high, the flag high here, the red line I'm drawing here, then that's it. It's gonna fly. The stock is gonna fly. It's gonna fly. Okay. So it's basically a good opportunity right now, because the strength is there, the power is there, and these two are the critical indicators. Okay. Now let us try to look into this. Is a day chart. I'm looking at the day chart, right? Let us try to move to the weekly chart. What the weekly chart says, because in the previous video I was like saying that okay, there is a head of gangster and all that. So let us try to see if that actually gives any significance to us. Because okay, let me move back to linear scale. So in the linear scale, it looks totally opposite. I will tell you, totally opposite. You know why? First, it failed the Fibonacci test. So you see, it went up, right? It retraces more than 50%. It failed that. So the moment it failed that Fibonacci test, I would say that it's like it has no up move potential. It's like sellers are gaining control, buyers are losing out. That is in a linear chart. Okay. So because I look at this chart in the last video, I made that conclusion. There's nothing wrong with the technical analysis. It's the chart that you use. Okay, it's the chart that you use that give us the wrong conclusion. Okay, so because of this particular retracement, right, which scares me, and plus added with let me highlight to you. See, this particular is not a good sign, and we have this what we call shooting star. It's not a good sign. So that's why I made a conclusion in the last video that is bearish, and because the buyers managed to pull it up, immediately the sellers came in, and they came in a huge what you call kind of sellout. So that's not really good sign. That is if it is a linear chart. That's a linear chart. Now let me switch back to a log chart. Very different. The picture is very different. First, if you look at the retracement, it is just nearing to touch that 38%. It did not cross the 50%. As long as it did not cross the 50%, the sellers, when the price went down, right? As long as it did not cross 50%, I'm safe. I'll say the buyers still got strength. The sellers are weakening. Okay, and in fact, as we showed earlier, there is an improvement in the power, because the earlier power, the retracement was about 68%. We saw that it's about 62%, right? And then we saw that the current, even in the monthly chart, we get the same picture. In the log monthly chart, we get the same picture. So the initial retracement was about nearing to the 62%, but the current retracement is just nearing to 38%. That basically shows a huge strength in the buyers. The sellers are weakening out. Sellers managed to push down by 32%, but now they only managed to push down like 38%. They have weakened. So when you can see the weakening, when you see such weakening in the of the sellers and the buyers gaining the strength, and even if you do your visual inspection, right, on the chart, you see from the low here to the high, it's just identical to your day chart, by the way. And then you see from the low here, and you see that the current up move, the previous up move is shorter, the current up move is longer. Means the strength is there, the buyer's strength is there. Okay, so when the buyer has got strength, when the buyer has got the power, this kind of candlestick and this kind of head of gangsters, they are of lower priority. I should not be using. See, this technical analysis got a lot of rules. If the Fibonacci is telling me, okay, you are the chart, or rather the chart is actually weakening, which is not the case here. If the chart is weakening, then suddenly I see shooting star and head of gangster appearing very early, then there is alert for me. I should conclude it as bearish, which I did it in the last video. But the story is totally opposite when you use the log chart, and now we see a different picture. The the strength is there, the power is there, and this kind of shooting star and that head of gangster. Even though we have head of gangsters here, right? Okay, let me do it again. So even though here we saw head of gangsters, several head of gangsters, or actually head of gangster is the largest. I think the largest will be visually I can see. Let me highlight for you. I think this is the largest. Okay. So even though the head of gangster, if for this downtrend, this is the head of gangster. For the current downtrend, which is not yet complete, I think this. Let me remove. Okay, let me try to adjust a bit. Okay, now you can see these two are the head of gangster. The first head of gangster is for the first down move. The second head of gangster is for the currently ongoing down move. Okay, the huge body of the red, or rather the bearish kind of body, huge one, is what you call head of gangster. And even though a head of gangster appears at the very early part of the down move, it's not a worry. It's not a worry. And the shooting star also not a worry. It's not a worry. Because shooting star, candlestick and head of gangster, in terms of the precedence, they are lower. The moment you see the strength in the chart, the moment you see power in the chart, even though your candlestick is suggesting opposite and your head of gangster is suggesting opposite, just ignore them because they are of lower precedence. So now I will conclude that this particular stock, Bionano Genomics, with this log scale analysis, it is actually in a bullish, strong bullish upward move. And in fact, you can start to do your positioning, especially now the price has moved a bit, moved down a bit. I think it might be a good opportunity to do a buy at this particular point. Again, you make your own decision whether to buy or not. I'm just here talking, giving my analysis, but the decision is yours. Okay. So now pre-market the price is moving down, so that's a good opportunity to buy also, I would say. Okay. So I don't think, okay, what is our key resistance? So now we have to look at the key resistance. It's a right point for us to start to collect. Let's say you want to invest like 10,000 USD. Maybe you can invest like you portion it like 3,000, 3,000, 3,000 or 50,000, 50,000. I mean, it depend on your watch size. If you 100,000 investment, you put 50-50. If it's 10,000 investment, then 5,000 is up to you. Okay, but you can start to position some amount already. You may not want to put your full investment amount like 10,000 or 100,000, whatever amount you have. It's not advisable to put full amount now because we yet to see the low, because pre-market is actually still moving down. So, but I believe the low is currently achieved. Okay, so now let's try to see what are the key resistance we have. Okay, what are the key points we have to observe. I will move back to the day chart. Okay, see here, I would put here this one at here. See, let me explain to you. This is a huge jump and it's a bullish jump, and the low of that bullish jump will become our resistance, what you call our support. So oops, let me, okay, so now, or maybe to be more exact, right, I can use this tool, horizontal line. Okay, right now is this particular low here is one of the support we have, so that's one right point to buy. Of course, the other support we have around here. So this also looks like a support, good support. So these are the price level there where the price can fall and where the buying opportunity can come in. Okay, and of course the lowest you can put a stop loss. Depends where you buy. Actually, your stop loss can be here lah. I mean, let me, worst case scenario, where is your stop loss supposed to be? Let me do it for you. So you can do somewhere below this particular low. Okay, so this is the utmost low we are expecting. I hope it doesn't go there. This is the utmost low we are hoping. So you can put your stop loss somewhere here, just slightly below that particular low, the green line that I have there. Okay, so this is we expecting it to rebound at the price level of $6.50. Or if it did not do that, maybe the second possibility is for it to rebound around $5.50, right? Or final chance is at $4.37. But if you go beyond that, then it's quite dangerous. Okay, but let us try to see again the Fibonacci. What are the Fibonacci levels we have? Okay, so right now it is retracing to the point of 50%. I really hope it doesn't go below that 50%, because it's like 45% right now. Okay, so there's a bit more. 50% is at line $6.28. Right now it is $6.72. So it's still a bit far. Okay, I hope it doesn't go below 50%. That 50% also can be your another support level. So in fact, you see there is a kind of support that is converging. What you call, we have two support lines that are converging. The first one is which I mentioned. The first line is this particular line. I'm not sure whether you can see it clearly. Okay, I will draw it out. So this is our first. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, this is one support we have, and I'll change this to a different color, maybe blue color. Okay, that blue line is the low of the bullish head of gangster. That will become a support, and also the green line that I drew is actually a Fibonacci 50 level. So we have these two levels kind of converging at the same place, almost same place. So that will see a lot of buying opportunity. So at this area, you'll see a lot of buying opportunity, because there's a convergence of two levels, Fibonacci level as well as this bullish head of gangster, the low part of it. There is also acting as a support. So it's in fact around this region, which I highlight in circle it in red. It's actually a good region for us to do buy. Okay, of course, if the sellers are quite strong, then it might test this $5.54, but we don't know. We hope it won't go up to there. Okay, so I hope it will rebound after here. Okay, after it touch that the area that I circle for you here. Okay, so we have put our stop loss, but if you buy here, then the stop loss is quite wide. So I'm not sure what is your risk profile. So your stop loss will be dependent on risk profile. Okay, so you might want to set a lower kind of stop loss if your risk profile is very not so high risk profile. Otherwise, if it goes below this particular let me point my cursor. If it goes below this particular, let me draw it for you, orange like line here. If it goes beyond that orange line, that is actually a bad news. Okay, it might be a bad news. So we hope that retracement doesn't go to that particular red line here we have. Okay, so I hope this video has given you a good insight, and you have learned something new from me. So if you do think you have learned something new, click that subscribe button, give me support, and I'll publish more videos analyzing, exposing you some techniques. You might learn the techniques. Okay, and make sure we don't do the same mistake we did to the last video. That is, be aware of the log chart and the linear chart, especially when the price move is huge. Then we use log chart. That's the best advice. Otherwise, you will miss the opportunity. Okay. So with that, I'll conclude. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Subscribe the channel. Bye bye.